lives to be a testament to your goodness and a source of comfort to all that we need. Amen.
Amen. Let's pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You got a fine meaning on that, didn't you?
Before we get started, I'd ask if we give a minute of silence. Charlie. Thank you. I hope that it's like this bring this country together. Good. We'll start off with our surveyor. Jim.
Morning, council. How are you?
You're fantastic.
Good. So, there's a request for a funds transfer request. Kelly, can you help me out a little bit on this? I came down for the highlighted area.
Well, is this where sometimes we do work on drains and then that drain has a year or two or three to get repaid
I believe
back?
so, yes.
And that's all within statute that can happen. Is that right,
Yeah.
Kelly?
Yeah, so they need to take a loan out of 1158 and transfer it. We're doing transfer, yeah, over into 2700. Do you guys have the second page? Okay, those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drains that they want to transfer into. You can see the loan balance that already exists and then the loan that's needed. If you look down at 2700 to complete what their projects are right now.
Ruth or Kelly or Jim, what's it, how long's it take for that repayment to happen? To those?
Well, it just depends on which individual unit brings in. So
But it can't exceed a certain number of years.
that's correct. It cannot exceed 8 years.
Okay.
The State Board of Accounts says we have to have a hearing and request to have a rate change.
Okay.
So we kind of got a pool of money, if you will, in a general fund, and we borrow from some, and some of them are plus, some of them are minus, but again, all the money stays within that watershed. It's just sometimes that watershed has to borrow a little bit from
Yeah. But 8 years is kind of like the maximum.
the State Board of Accounts, that's correct. Yeah, and we try not to run that. Unfortunately, we've been to there and that kind of caused a few issues if we go 8 years. And then we say, hey, we have to have a hearing. The landowners don't like that. We've been finding that they like to, hey, let's have a discussion first. We got to get this and this and this done. Let's have a maintenance hearing.
Usually gets handled that.
So, and again, it's learning pains. Again, those before me, I think Larry was here for 38 years and I've been here for less than 4. So
So will we actually see the money go back from 2700 back to 1158? Or it never goes back? I just don't remember ever transferring.
Potential goes into them. And then as those individual watersheds repaid back,
That goes into 2700?
So my thinking is it would pay the loans off in 2,700. And then any excess would land back in 1158.
It will go back. It will go back into the fund.
and how often do you do a transfer for that to happen?
That's at settlement time,
Okay,
so twice a year, depending on what taxpayers paid.
thank you.
So it only gets put back if the taxpayers pay.
And it's not something, because I just don't remember ever seeing it go back. So that we don't see it because it
We
happens
do it
at
automatically
settlement.
at settlement.
We see it happens at settlement, so that's why we don't see it. Okay, that makes sense.
Sure.
I move to approve. I'll second.
That was Lisa.
Any further?
Yeah, so there's,
Wait.
I'm sorry.
We have to
From-
vote on this
Oh,
one.
yeah, I'm sorry. You did right.
Um,
Apologize.
So yeah, if anybody has any other questions on that matter for the surveyor or any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. So, okay, what you got, Jim?
Okay, secondly, I apologize for that. Secondly, just ask for an additional appropriation request. It was less than that, less than $1,500, but you can see behind me here, the utility markers, the big red. Those, we're getting more and more variances, and as the homes go up in the out in the country, utilities are marked the main utilities, but the secondary line that came from the main back to the home, if it crosses an open ditch or crosses a tile or whatever, a lot of times those are not marked. When you call the 911 number, those secondary lines are not marked by the holy moly 911 call. So what we're starting to do now is we're starting to buy these big utility markers, and we will charge, so this will be a one-time additional appropriation. I think it was a little over $1,000. Kelly has the exact number there. And this will be a one-time because as people file for the variance, we will charge them for those utility markers. There'll be one on either side of the tile or one on either side of the ditch, whatever it may be. And so we have them. So they're marked.
So, those are called carsonites, right?
Um,
Those markers are called carsonites.
I'm not sure the proper terminology.
Anyway, the invoice is for $1,118.29.
I believe that's
And
correct.
that's with freight. Our request is for 1,500 and there's a balance in the account of 10,000. So I guess I'm just wanting to make sure we
What's the
can't draw from our current balance or at least match up with the invoice. Or why we're requesting.
Sure, we requested $1,500 because it was just an estimate of the shipping right at first. And so I spoke with Kelly and we just wanted to make sure not to exceed $1,500. However, when the bill came in fact, they already shipped it to us ahead of time. So we're kind of tailing behind and asking for the additional request to pay that invoice. So we have those already. I believe there's 50 of them.
I guess the next question is, what is it that you usually pay for out of that operating supplies line that you're still planning on using that $10,000 cash balance on?
It's actually 77107.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know why this,
That's the
Okay.
cash balance of general fund that you're
I
looking at.
was looking
on
at
there.
that, it's like, yeah.
Oh,
more than 10,000.
yeah, I looked at
so we had
My
700.
bad, no, my bad, you're right. There's commas in there. Kenny said the same thing.
That's before this invoice hasn't been paid yet.
That's correct.
We did 1,500 because I had advertised and we did not know at that time. I wasn't sure what the, well, I didn't know what the freight was gonna be at that time.
And the balance is
But do we still,
there though, but we could do,
do we know what the freight is yet for sure?
so the total bill is
Yeah.
$1,118.29.
Oh, that is total.
So we could just do that and cover it.
Yes. Round it off to 1,120. It's a round number. Is round numbers easier for you guys?
$1,200.
Round numbers are good.
I assumed round numbers would be easier.
As in 1,200 round numbers? Want a motion?
Sure.
I move that we allow $1,200 additional appropriation.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll second.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Very nice. All those in favor, raise your right hand. So. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, thank you, council. Enjoy your day.
Yep. Morning.
Want me to run through my update?
Let's handle the additional request here. Good.
Okay. So I have an additional request in 1169, which is our local road and street account. It's funded by gas tax. One additional request is for $23,500 into bituminous mix patch, so we can stockpile some cold patch going into winter. And the other one is $10,000 into machine equipment repair remodel. So we purchased a front plow for a new pickup truck. And the other two additional requests I have are both in 1176, which is also gas tax and wheel tax funds. First one is for $25,000 in the garage supply, so we can buy more parts. So a couple of our tractors go down this year and they cost a lot of money. And the other one is $28,358.41 in gas and oil, and that's literally just receipts for fuel that we have sold to other departments.
Wear and tear on this equipment, or is it abuse?
It's designed. Already been in talks with the manufacturer of the equipment. Already been into talks with the commissioners, and if you look at my budget I submitted for next year, I plan on making those tractors no longer part of my fleet. It's coming up next year. Unless you want to. My alternative, as I told the manufacturer, I don't plan on budgeting for $11,000 repair every 400 hours on 5 pieces of equipment that I have.
See, they're the same fund, so I would accept the motion either to pull all these together. One's appropriate receipts though, so we can take them separately or together, however we want to. You got a lot more bituminous product down this year than we budgeted for yet.
Yes, we had a lot of, we had a really bad. The weather dictates freeze thaws, what causes potholes. The end of February, we had a nice surprise spring. I would easily say it. We had like 3 days of 75 degrees, and then we had a 3-inch rainfall in 24 hours, and then the temperature dropped, and you had your top 2 inches under your old chip seals thawed, and then the water got under them, and it froze, and it blew them up. So we patched a lot of roads, and you guys were kind enough to give us an additional $250,000 out of rainy day this year. And so we went out, and after we went up and patched 12 miles of road in the southwest corner of the county, we were able to then chip seal them. So that was an additional 12 miles of road work that we hadn't had planned. And all of that got cold patch or asphalt on it in those areas we had to do.
We have, on our agenda, we have 1176. That's the 25,000 and the 28,358. Right.
Yep, you should have it.
1169 is the other, so both 1169s take together as separate. Anybody care to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the additional appropriation from 1169 for both the 23,500 and the 10,000, totaling 33,500.
I'll second that. Bill? Okay, any comments, questions on that one? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Done.
Thank you.
Okay, now on 1176. One is kind of new need and the other is appropriating receipts.
Can they go together?
That's what we're in.
Both the 1176? I move to approve the additional appropriation from 1176 for garage supplies and for gas and oil totaling 53,358.41.
I'll second that.
Lisa and Bill again. Any other comments or questions? Okay, raise your right hand. No? Yeah, how about a little update?
All right, update, 11:35, working on Bridge 37. We think we have it on track to go to letting in October of 27. If we can make October of 27 letting, there's the possibility to be in the window for what federal government and the state of Indiana has been doing for rural off-network bridges, which are first come, first served. They have a pot of money, and if the bridges meet the qualifications of that time frame, they are 100% funding construction. So that would be great if we can hit that window, because that could then end up saving the county up to $292,000 in construction funds. Small structure 7, we got all the work done. We did a final inspection. We got all the punch list items done. We're just waiting to pay the final estimate. That's all we have with that. On our local road and street account, that's good. You guys approved my appropriation request for that, so we appreciate that. Fund 1173, which is where we pay all of our big construction projects out of. We finished condemnation for the roundabout. We're currently finishing up this year's community crossings paving project. All the paving's complete. Paved roughly 10.5 miles of road. Works construction. We have 2.5 miles left to put shoulders on. And we're going to start striping on the roads we got completed today. So we'll have that project done and wrapped up pretty soon. The Pokebachi Trail, which we got the Next Level Trails grant for, going south of town. We're really close on design. We've already started right away acquisition. Hoping to have that ready to go to letting October of this year. That would be a better time to bid it than in the spring. So that's moving forward. Good. And the other important note on that is community crossings. NDOT and the state of Indiana have changed how we're going to run community crossings. So instead of having a January and July call, and we have some deadlines that are built in October, everything's going to do in October for next year. So I'm bringing up and getting all that stuff ready so I can come back to you next month and get official approval to go after the October call for the 26 community crossings projects. There's only going to be one call for 26, and it's October this year. So I get one bite at that apple, so we're going to go after it. 1176 update. Fueling station's going really well to date. We have seen real savings of over $46,000 to the county. We're seeing at a minimum 47 cents a gallon savings, per gallon savings. Thank you for appropriating the receipts we received. Unfortunately, not everyone is up to date current on their billing. So hopefully next month I come to you and can say, I'm appropriating $55,000 in outstanding invoices I have in other departments so that I can fund fuel for the rest of the year. Shameless plug, right? But hopefully we get that all taken care of, and that will take care of us to the end of the year, and we will continue being able to run that program well. Reorganization. Hopefully next month we'll be able to come to you with a updated job description. What we would like to do is we currently have 2 mechanics. We would like to take one of those mechanics and create a lead mechanic position Erin's been great. She's been helping me with the job description on that. So hopefully next month we'll be able to come with a proposed salary ordinance for that. Not creating new positions, not adding new staffing, but better organizing our mechanic space. Thank you for appropriating that additional $25,000. Simply put, we run 5 tractors in the same make, general model. They all have the same design flaw. We replaced 3 hydraulic pumps on 3 of those 5 units this year, $10,000 a pop. Pretty costly. We did have on the agenda a proposed salary, but we are going to request to table that while we work out some verbiage. And the 2025 road program is complete. We have completed our local program, which included that 12 additional miles of chip seal that you guys helped us fund through a rainy day this year. Appreciate that. We're out sweeping chip seal roads right now. We should have all of them swept up by the end of the week. And on to winter operation prep. That is my update.
Thanks, Jeff, for that. Right, so I don't see salary ordinance on the call. Is that what we're tabling?
Yes.
Yes. I just have one question for you on that material that you put down on Orland Road. I've never seen a material. What is that? That black stuff? It's real loose and dusty and.
So we had a really successful chip seal program. And it over 10 years ago, we used to be able to buy slag sand out of SDI. And so they discontinued that product at that location. You can go get it from other locations, but it became cost prohibitive for the trucking. All it is manufactured sand. So if I can go down a list of roads that are close to 20 years old where we had sand sealed with that same material 20 years ago, they still hold up. It's really good product. The only thing that's different as from an operations standpoint when we run sand, when we have a wall or something, we have to bypass it. We have extra material on there, so we actually have to sweep these. We pretty much got most of the regular chip seals down to not being swept. These all have to be swept. It's just sand.
So you're still going to be sweeping those?
Yep.
Thank you for that. Anything else, Mr. Engineer? Thanks, Chip.
All right. Have a great day.
Job descriptions. We did all job descriptions in 2024, correct? When we did the WIS. How much does it cost when we do these additional ones through Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy?
It varies. It depends on the work. Obviously, you can say bill kind of like attorneys do on an hourly basis. So, if it's a completely new job description and it's from scratch, then obviously that's going to cost a little bit more. If it's just a tweaking of a job description, then that's going to cost less. If we need a classification memo, then that's going to be more. But they have different levels of people that work on it as well. So then those hourly rates differ.
It just seems like we've seen quite a few this year after paying for doing them all last year.
Yeah, and it's normal. You normally see them coming through, outside of a job description study. That's due to new department heads coming in, they want restructures or something that happened in a department that, it's kind of a reactive sort of thing where maybe we should have been a little proactive and then take a look at things in the structure before. There's a lot of different things that can go into the need for different job descriptions.
And then would you be kind enough to share with me one more time the updated, the matrix and what all they are? The Comot A's, the Comot B's, the Comot C's, the PATs, all of that? And then does it have the range of what that salary is?
Well, like right now you have, the COMAS and that's LDCs, you have the non-merit polls, the merit polls, you have your executive class and then SOs and the elected officials. So right now, you have a specific dollar amount that's tied to each one of those classifications, each level within those classifications. So that's where you're at right now. That is not memorized in my head.
I didn't assume it was. I didn't assume it was, so I was just curious if that was one of your beautiful spreadsheets that you
Oh, yeah,
to share with me.
Yes, I can share that with us. But it is like a matrix. So when, we were talking about those positions that, were here for a long time and had the longevity worked into their salaries and they were over and above the risk study. So that's where I have to be very careful. Like if those people retire, they lose employment, then I have to take a look at that matrix and make sure that that wage is brought down to where it should be, because that other wage is where the longevity was tied in. So I have to pay very close attention to that matrix, and then I have to update it every year depending on what you guys do with salaries. If you take a look at, say, do a flat dollar amount across the board, or if you do a percentage increase, then I have to update that accordingly as well.
I assumed it had changed, so that's why, because when I was looking at this that you're going to be presenting on, I was just curious. I didn't know if they changed inside the matrix or if they stayed,
The job description?
the job, was the system analyst, what she had before, were those people pat D's
Shout
before?
out that, I'll let you know what the changes were, let me make a note to get you
Thank you.
the matrix, yeah. So, yes, due to a requested restructure of the IT department, currently there are 2 job descriptions in front of you today for consideration. Currently, right now, we have 2 systems administrators, so they are currently a PAC D, and that wage is $60,939.84. Okay, so the proposed restructure includes 1 operations administrator, which that is also a PAT D, and that is an open position right now. So hopefully this gets passed because I really want to post this job opening with the updated job description. The second position that you have in front of you is the cybersecurity analyst. This is a new job description that fits more in line with what this person is doing in the IT department. That is actually a PAT E. So that is an increase of $4,405.86 to that PAT D salary. So you have the one that is still classified the same, and then the other one that is changing classifications, bumping up one. These were reviewed by the Personnel Advisory Committee, and it was a favorable recommendation to the commissioners. The commissioners approved them to be passed to the county council for consideration, approval, and essentially funding.
So.
Sure.
That department was always the department head and 2. Is this the department head and 3 now?
Nope.
Okay.
No, so
I
you're
just wanted to
just,
make sure.
you're just taking the 2 systems administrators, and you're gonna have one of those that's now going to be the operations job, or the operations administrator, and then the other one's gonna be the cybersecurity analyst. The operations administrator was very similar to what the system administrator was, which is why the classification stayed the same. The cybersecurity analyst, there were some new things that were included.
So my question on the $4,405.86 increase, is that based on which budget? Based on what we're trying to get adopted for 2026?
No, that's based on, for this, it's in line with our current matrix, what a PACI would be at. So in the event that there is a 5% increase or whatever increase may be for wages in 2026, then that person would be eligible for that as well.
We're okay having both of these in the same ordinance?
I did not, these are salary ordinance amendments that I did. So the only change, I mentioned the titles, the only change for the salary is just the cybersecurity analyst. I did not do a change for the other position because the salary's not changing. So it's ordinance number 1052 that we're referring to right now. Just gives you the history down through there. And then,
It is an ordinance about the eligible for the 5% increase.
yes. And real quick, I will change the bottom. When we get to this, I'll change it because I'm sorry, Ruth, I didn't think you were going to be here today and I prepared them ahead of time, so I'll change the vote on the bottom of those by hand. I apologize. Yeah, but the voting, I had the voting up at the top.
Okay, so for right now, we're being asked to approve the job descriptions.
Correct.
This portion. We're very long and detailed, and I'm glad it was Wagner and Shealy doing it. I don't know what we don't know what we're missing, so I know they've got a good,
Yeah, and we've worked very closely with Nikki as well, because we have to rely on the department head to put in there what exactly that they're wanting from their employees and what they need for the department, and then, yeah, so we have back and forth sometimes.
so. Make sure I was, don't have the cart before the horse here, but. If we approve the job descriptions, she can get adjustments made, but it's a separate approval for the ordinance with the wage. So kind of need both.
Yeah, if you, I almost like it if you would break up things, the operations administrator, that position currently is empty and that requires no wage change. I would love to have that approved separately, so I can get that posted immediately today, so we can start. And then if you want to take the cybersecurity analyst on its own, that would be.
I think that's logical. If we, anybody is interested in a motion on the operations position,
I would make a motion to approve the operations position job description.
second?
I'll second.
So, any other comments or questions? No, they raise your hands. That's 7 on that one.
And I can rework this as need be and bring it back around.
So on the cybersecurity analyst job description. Do you have any other questions for Aaron or care to make a motion?
This all comes out of general, right? There's the 100% comes out of general.
So the salary ordinance, when I drew it up last night, I did mention the systems analysis stays at 60,939.84, and that the cybersecurity analyst will go to 65,345.70.
And then we'll also go up.
Additional
5%
5%.
as of January.
Correct.
Can you give me a location number?
And then the commissioner's budget, aren't they?
Yes.
So page
I
20.
have money here.
Oh,
Right here.
I have to go.
136.
Systems administrator.
10360, this,
Put that in too.
yes.
So is this? Yeah, I know, I already asked this question once. So the director would become the.
No, the director's not changing.
So then it is an extra
103.
position.
No,
Okay.
she currently has 2 full-time, she's 2, and then she has 1 part-time. So let's say those 2 systems administrators' job descriptions go away, and we are now going to put operations administrator and cybersecurity analyst in those places.
So there's no,
There's no new position.
No new position request, just a change in their job descriptions.
Which changes
And
one
he's
pay.
still here. This one's still here. Currently employed. The other position is sitting empty. Because the person that used to be in that position is no longer there.
we're just looking at 3 job descriptions or 2.
You're looking at 2.
2 job descriptions.
And that's the total. 5.
As the systems administrator job descriptions, if these are approved, it will be obsolete.
That's what I needed to hear. I apologize. I was like, I'm looking at 3. Yeah, nope, I apologize.
They'll go away. Here's Nikki.
Right now, the overall increase on the ordinance is the 4485 and change.
586.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Erin?
$4,405.86.
$5. I'm sorry, I did 85.
Do you want the ordinance to state the differential, the change?
That's it, yes, I can put it in there.
$48 in wrong direction.
Well, the second, you do the 5%. Yeah, like 7,000 after the 5 next year. Correct.
I mean, I have it pretty specific.
Yeah.
Already, so.
Yeah.
I can take handwrite it, the additional in there.
You care to make a motion? We have an option, if we have no motion, that we can leave it be a motion. More opportunity for further discussion. It's going to get brought back around.
In October.
I'll make a motion to table it.
Table for further discussion by Lisa.
Is that motion to table as a second? Second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion as presented, raise your right hand. At 5?
Yeah, Dylan, I think so.
Okay.
Okay, next thing up for discussion, I'm putting you guys behind schedule too, I'm sorry. Public defender update, so you have a couple additional appropriations in front of you, this is just for the office. You got the 2 paralegal agents, and then also the receptionist wage. And then in addition to that, also, some funds for phone, case management software, computers and hardware, so.
Agreed principle for these positions, we haven't appropriated dollars.
Right.
Take these one at a time since one's personnel, one's not, if you don't mind. Dollar amounts we've specified previously.
Well, that's just what's would be needed for, and that's gonna be estimated high. Because when it was submitted, it was estimated, I think, at 8 pays, and we've had a full pay since that time, so. There's gonna be some money that's in the account in general, and it's not gonna take all that for those wages.
So for those 2 positions so far, a request of $42,540.
It's 3 positions, 2 paralegals and 1 receptionist.
Sorry, yeah,
Motion.
yes.
I'd move to approve the total of $42,540 additional appropriation.
Eric and then Bill. Further discussion? Favor, raise your right hand. 7. Okay,
I would also move to approve the 17,500 out of Fund 1200.
I'll second that, that's approved.
any further questions on that one? All in favor, raise your right hand. 7.
Quick little update on the PD office. We are currently in compliance with everything. Caseloads and all the other requirements in the pilot program. We've gotten the petition for request for counsel rolling, all the courts are using that. So anybody that asks for a public defender has to provide some additional information. And then that is looked over and then considered. The data collection continues. And a conditional offer was made for a chief public defender, but of course, we have to go through different screenings and stuff as required. So that is currently happening right now, and once those come back, then an official offer can be made. So the CCAA is updated on everything that we do, and that's per the pilot agreement as well. So every time we take another step, I send them an email and let them know where we're at in the process. So our timeline right now is still 1/1/26. We have to have the public defender office fully staffed and we're keeping the ball rolling.
Good. Thank you again for all your efforts there.
So, that is all I have. Thank you.
Don't leave your room though.
But I'll be on my corner.
Great, you're doing good. Press on. Thank you for EMS, Mr.
All
Hurry.
right. Morning, council and all. We're requesting some funds transferred to our part-time employee fund. We have been heavy on part-time employees this year. Does save us some money, you all know. So we have gone down in funds on that. The 2 lines that we're trying to get these funds transferred from is the admin assistant that we hadn't filled. And that's the 41,909. And then the other line is actually the previous EMS director, now EMS administrator, salary that wasn't paid out until I came on board. And so we're trying to take those funds, put them into our part-time employee fund, and make sure we stay good for the rest of the year. And that should put us good.
Yes.
So you guys have done without that front position for 3 years now. Is that something that, I know it's in your budget for next year. Is it something that you're hoping to fill? Is that something that potentially wouldn't have to be a full-time position? Could be a part-time position of somebody helping you?
That's a great question. You know, as I see it now, we weren't planning on filling it for the year. I think there are some ways that we could use, you know, administrative assistant in the future. I think that is something for like more discussion probably, if that's fair.
That is fair. Sometimes it's just about planting a seed about, you know, if you had somebody that was really great with numbers who wasn't, you know,
Right.
looking for full-time work that could plow through your stuff a little faster, it would, you know, maybe have higher level in person, but not as long. But then also for the county, then it's a part-time position, not a full-time position when we're talking about benefits. Just something to talk about.
Yes.
Just an idea.
And I appreciate the fact that you realize that part-time has cost effectiveness that I appreciate.
Yeah, and we've got great part-time employees. That's why, you know, we just hired a couple more. So we still gotta get them trained and, you know, to the system, and they're experienced medics or EMTs, but just training them to our systems.
Okay. Anybody like enough to throw it to a vote?
I move to approve.
I will second. Are you sure about it?
Okay, yeah.
Christina? Other questions? Raise your right hand. 7? Everything going well otherwise?
Everything else going great?
Good.
So, any other questions?
Good work. You can tell a difference.
Yeah, we got a good team. We really do. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Sheriff?
Good morning, council. Auditor.
Morning, Chip.
Good morning. Simply put, guns. What you ask, that's what it is. We have transferred over in the last year, all of our sidearms. They were updated, but every 10 years, we have to go through this cycle. So we did all the sidearms, new sights. Now we've reviewed the rifles instead of waiting another year because it'll be on next year's outlook. Right now seems to be a very good time to do this. So I'm asking for the appropriation to be raised on that fund. We did get our check. That fund is provided by, it used to be through the handgun permits. So every time if someone got a handgun permit, they would pay a fee. That would build this fund. We did away with that with constitutional carry to be easily understood. And the state, along with that, the sheriff's asked that we could somehow, somebody replace that bucket of funding we used to get with those permits, because we use that for all of our weapon purchases, some ammunition, training things. State has done very well with that. Smoltz every 2 years, as he was the author of, he has pushed that through. So I see Representative Isa, thank you again. We just got our funding check here last week. So I think that, not an actual number, but I think 82,000 in that fund right now. So if I could have 8,000, we'll replace our rifles that need to be replaced, and then we should be good for another 10 years, all the way around. Till somebody else gets an idea for some other. For right now, that's where we're at. What's that?
Right.
It's on that second page, I believe.
I don't have that.
It's 10. So we're trading in our old ones. That's why that number is so low. They're giving us credit for our old ones. And they were shall I say, a grade above what we're purchasing. Same manufacturer, very nice weapon, but we're not getting as many options on it. So they're a little less, we got very good trade-in value on the ones we had, even though most of the barrels were
That's not gonna be my next question. Same thing happened with the sidearms?
Yep.
You traded.
Yeah, you get to that point where you've replaced every spring and every little, intricate piece inside of it that fails through time, and then you just have to replace the firearm. So a few of the rifles, the joke was the other day, the guys came back from a conference where they needed to take them, and they were actually having discussions and serial numbers. There's always a guy out there who knows what a serial number means and what year it's manufactured. So we have two of them that the guns are older than the deputies. So they are fine, they are good, but you just can't get that in their head. So, but that to give you an idea, when we started the team and started putting patrol rifles in, this was 1996 when we implemented this original program. So very few years after when we started purchasing our own patrol rifle stuff. Back then, it was a lot of just shotguns that everybody had. So these are the rifles that we're seeing, and now they've reached their age limit. Yeah. But I haven't done anything with that fund since I came in 19, knowing that during my time, all the sidearms would have to be holsters, they require new holsters. I knew that coming in, so we've done a good job of building that up, preparing for these last couple of years. Unfortunately, we've had so many other things, but buildings, COVID, and that we've had to deal with as well. So it would have been nice just to focus on a couple things, but again, we're never granted that.
I just wanted to ask, the cash balance you said out loud and what's on here is fairly different. It's what's
Yeah.
on here, right?
Should be what, 64?
I'm sorry, I thought you said 82.
Yeah, that's where we just got the check, Friday? Yesterday?
Okay.
Yeah, I just got my check.
Okay.
From the
It just
state.
was almost a 20 grand swing, so I was just like.
Yeah, that's why I say yearly they give us a check. And at the time, and I don't think it's too finite, but at the time when we went to the constitutional carry, there was an average of the previous 5 years on what each county made to get permits. And that's what we receive, with some reduction in there. But pretty close to what we were getting yearly on those permits. Very satisfactory. So, and that comes once a year, and we did receive it. That's why it's 82 now.
Protect your cash balance, that rule could change.
Yeah, right. And that's my worry. As long as we have good people down there fighting for us, we're in the good, but when that changes, yeah.
Anybody like it enough to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Phil?
Second. Through.
Any questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. So,
Thank you, Council.
thank you. Judge. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Feeling pretty good. Thank you. Makes me a little nervous to be hearing about expiration dates.
We don't like that.
Passed in my 71st year. It's great to be with you. Simply stated, shrinks. We're here to talk about. Sheriff, I love you. What year were you born? Older than any of my. So, yeah, you see me from time to time when our balances might run low, certain accounts, and we are at that point with the psychological evaluation. We do these as required by statute, by state law. And it is usually around the issues of competency to stand trial, sometimes insanity defenses or motion that triggers it. And this is just a guess of what it would take to get us through the end of the year. It's probably on the high side. It won't offend me. If you decide to whittle a few grand off of there, that's fine. It's all going to revert whatever's left at the end of the year. So that's where we are. We have about $180 after our most recent claim is paid that was filed last Friday. We have big questions, make more stand-up jokes, whatever it takes.
Whatever doesn't get used goes back.
I move to approve
Full 5,000.
the whole 5,000. We won't use it if he doesn't need it.
Right.
I'll second it.
Nay? Any other thoughts? Thank you.
Thank
Morning.
Good morning. Council members. I'm up before you today to give permission for 2 grant proposals. Paperwork may look like it's the same grant that we're applying for twice, and that is exactly the case. The reason is. Huh?
Can we just put it in twice or what?
It's the same.
It's the same grant, but it's for 2 different categories, that's why it's broken down this way. It is the State of Homeland Security grant program. They say that you're allowed to apply under 2 different initiatives. One is under a national priority project and the other one is for equipment and capital improvements. That's why the 2 grants. If you guys approve this, we will be pursuing funding for 4 projects that will benefit 4 agencies within the county. This will be grants that will be in collaboration with IT, the sheriff's office, building maintenance, and then our agency as well. What the 2 things are for. The goal is to do the max amount of up to 200,000. That's what's permitted. The national priority project is going to be an IT migration to the .gov domain and to continue moving us that direction. And we're working with Nikki on that. She's still in the process of getting her final estimates. That's why we're doing the up to 200,000. And then the campus security or soft target area security, if you will, is to bring some additional security protocols and measures to the community building here. One of those being a camera out in the parking lot that we're just seeking some upgrades, and we're working with Austin on that. The equipment and capital improvements one will be one that will benefit the sheriff's office as well as the local hazmat team through the LAPC. We're looking to use the funds to help purchase some cameras that the sheriff's office will be using throughout the county for detection purposes, as well as the hazmat ID for the LAPC for identification of hazardous materials, liquids, powders, etc. That can be used by not just the hazmat team, but has also been used, the current one that is in play has also been used by the sheriff's office for some of the drug enforcement and detection of chemicals that are utilized there. So that's basically what we're looking for.
This is not to exceed 150.
Is that what it is? That would be what it is, my apologies. It is, yeah, it's the maximum level that we're applying for each one.
And it's not a match on our part, it's reimbursement.
Correct, it is 100% reimbursable. The state has already secured the funds, we're just applying now to get the money from the state.
Cameras, blocking cameras?
Correct.
Second,
What'd you say?
blocking cameras?
Blocking.
Which would be great. Yes. 2, it says that it may only fund at a partial amount if you're granted. It's not guaranteed a full amount. It may be a partial amount. Do you have a backup plan if you only get partial? Or will council be asked to make up the difference if you only get a partial?
So that's why we're seeking the total amount of up to 150. If we need to make adjustments on our end after they award it, I'm prepared to do so by evaluating the need of hazmat ID versus something that we can use to supplement that. And yet to answer the question to where we can secure what we're looking for. There are other grant opportunities that we're currently looking at. We're looking at going through DC Energy, TransCanada. They have a grant of up to $25,000 for equipment that the commissioners have given me authorization to look at it and check into, that we can utilize those funds if awarded to help with this. And then there's still money that's in the LEPC that we can look at for the hazmat ID. So the numbers, like I said, we're still waiting on IT for her numbers there. So we may not apply for the whole 150, but depending on where those estimates come in for service is going to really dictate what we're actually applying for. So, but yes.
So I think your question is, you're not asking to expend more than actually get work.
Correct.
And then there's cameras in both of those, so.
Correct. The flock cameras that the sheriff's office is looking at is different than what would be one of the cameras that is needing placed or updated in the parking lot. Yeah.
Okay, anybody have any other questions? Auditor's office, we just talked about grants and managing that through your office and everything. Issues with these. Make sure to make a motion.
Get motion.
Bill, you want that to be for both?
Yes, please.
I'll second.
Lisa? Any questions? Those in favor, raise your right hand. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you very much.
The one,
No, right there.
oh, we got Lee.
Oh, those are straight to this. If you want, I'll do this.
Anybody want to take a pause before we get other business? You okay? Okay. Okay. So we have our additional appropriation resolution for action today, 09-205-01.
I modified it. On the first one, we advertised 15, I marked it down to 12.
Catch that? You don't have modification on it from what was in your packet? Okay.
Move to approve the additional appropriation resolution 09-225-01
That's modified.
as modified. Yes, sir.
I'll second that.
Ruth, yeah. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. Done. Take this and pass it. You should have the previously approved July minutes coming down on the way. That's minutes, right? August, right?
This thing's so slow down a little bit with the. Do you have this on your sheet?
It's better to back to the. That's.
Yeah.
I see a trend here. I thought it was just Christina.
You all need a blue pen? You need a blue pen?
Pen is going back.
So August minutes, we should be talking about in our October meeting, then. It's not unusual to have them a little behind after all they're going through, but it's. While that's coming around, then we have our August 2025 monthly financial comparison reports. Packets we have reviewed. Anybody has any comments or questions on those? Discussing? Otherwise, we can accept a motion stating that we have reviewed them.
Make that motion.
Eric?
I'll second. Bill?
All in favor, raise your right hand. No? Do you have ordinance 1051 in front of you? Yep. Changes from approval to the commissioners. Digital page, I got it here. Aaron? On ordinance 1051.
You want a copy of it?
Yeah.
That's the one.
So this is another modified job description. This is the restructure that's been discussed in that department for some time. Reviewed by the commissioners and approved by the commissioners. So this is back through the process with Wagner and Cheatley.
It was. Yeah, the job description went through, but the classification did not change on either of those job descriptions.
Okay. I put you on the spot, Commissioner Howard or Laughlin, here, talk a little bit about that since the classification didn't change. Sure.
As you may be aware, we did do some structural changes in the hierarchy out at the highway barn. The general job description had some general Cs where some of the duties of each of the positions overlap. So when in the previous one, the superintendent wasn't there, the engineer took over those spots. When the engineer wasn't there, the supervisor. That's been completely eliminated. So it didn't really change the job description, but it did give him those duties that were previously placed on the supervisor. So his,
I don't put words in your mouth, but am I hearing shared responsibility duties are now sole responsibility?
yes.
Are we decreasing the pay to the person who took that position? Did it decrease when it changed?
No, because the classification did not change. So it remained where it was at.
This is where what you were talking about last month or a couple weeks ago with, yeah, multiple things could change, but it doesn't mean anything's gonna change
Yes.
within that.
Yes.
And did we go above, we went above the WIS study for Mr. Porter last year too?
No, you're at,
Or at?
yes, you are at the market midpoint for that position right now. I do want to do this. I can blow it up. So we're at the market midpoint, however, they did on this position give us a salary range.
A midpoint range?
Well, the external midpoint salary is what that person is at right now. The external salary range is a little bit different.
And that's with the new duties.
It's at the same
It's
classification.
at the same classification, so it doesn't fall outside of that.
So what that wage is at now, it's smack dab in the middle of the range.
And does the requested amount exceed the range?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the range is?
95,451 on the low end, 116,663 on the high end.
No, he
No.
requested not.
Was not fine.
If approved.
That,
5%.
what's requested would run through 2026.
Okay.
Take a special vote on his pay last year beyond the WIS study that I helped find locate to increase. So I'm confused by.
He didn't receive it. $231 is what this increase was last year.
No, I had to get IT to give me when we had the meeting because it was entered in for less than what it was supposed to be, and we corrected it because I found the recording, found the vote, brought it to the auditor. None of this is ringing any bells?
I remember when we went through and listened to that, there was a question on the salary.
But I believe that there was additional research done because I was included in that as well. And I think there were some votes, it was very confusing. I think there were some votes that were made and then there were some votes made after that fact that reversed things back because there were some other things that came back to county council with increasing and making changes to the highway department wage matrix because they right now are outside of the sector.
So I brought something that was said, yes, we're gonna correct this. Then behind the scenes, it was undone and wasn't.
No, because it was all done in public, because it
You're
was,
the only ones that can change it.
yeah, because it was looked back on.
I still have it. I will watch it again. We found it. I brought it to you. It was a vote. It was a 5-2.
Yeah, we're looking. This is gonna take a while.
Sorry, she got there.
Just looking at them different, we just tabled the same thing for another department a half hour ago.
It was for a difference of $6,970.71. I found the vote on December the 11th and brought it up because that is when I talked with the department head about it. And another council member. Because we did for the engineer, but we didn't for the second guy in charge, because that one failed at vote. Is this ringing any bells for anyone? You guys weren't here.
I remember.
It's vague, but I don't remember
And
exactly.
I'm
what happened.
anxious to hear what vote we made afterwards
Yeah.
that not superseded. Yeah, changed it.
Thank you. It was during budgets. It was during budget workshops when those happened. I rewatched our budget workshops for that purpose because only the first one was live. The other two, I had to have the auditor help me, which she did, get the recordings put onto a USB and brought to me by IT. And I watched.
So we could very well have had those exact conversations in budget sessions, but before final budget adoption in our regular meeting. had discussion, so we should review the minutes from the meetings following as well.
Sorry. I thought we went through it. I thought we had done all of this in December.
We did final budget adoption in what month? October last year?
We had a question. I think we did.
I think we did it in November as well. So let's review October, November, December minutes. I've got one in here, I can do that as well. And I just ran some numbers. Yeah, we can either motion on this, not receive a motion on this, or table this, but current wage times, the 1.05, should that be enacted? The request is for basically $8,640.27 more than that. If the person has been at the top end of the range given, and then given the 1.05 in 2026, their wage would be $122,496.15. So it would be $2,496 higher than the request. So just a little perspective on it, but I think it's important to sort out where we're going to do.
I make a motion that we table this until we have clarity.
Okay. Christina, motion to table. Does that have a second? I'll second that. Here. Any further comments, questions? All those in favor, raise your hand. Seven to table.
Table. Did you? No, she didn't.
Oh, you
So
did
how many
not
tables?
issue? I'm sorry.
How many tables?
You did not raise your hand? Okay, so we have 6.
6 to 1.
Sorry. If you hear me say 7 and I missed you, please. Sorry. And the request is also for this to be made retroactive to May 13th, 2025. So, anyway, we'll dig through our notes, make sure we have it straight. Let's see what comes back around. Okay. All right, next on the agenda is the approval of the 26th council meeting schedule. So following on the second Tuesday of every month, unless otherwise noted. I didn't get a chance to go through the calendar and plug these in. Just to make sure they didn't bump against anything, but is there the budget schedule on there? It's
No.
not, is it?
No, it comes out of the
Okay.
budget calendar.
So the budget. I don't know about you guys, but I like the way that worked this year where we give them time to get, because then what we had in front of us was really good basis to move forward on. So when you guys are starting the process, I think you're kind of mirroring what we did this year. Not up to me at all, but I personally just love the idea of the commissioners meeting adjustment as well, if that actually happens. Okay. So This is an advertised meeting schedule. Does anybody have any issues on there that stop us from adopting that this meeting?
We want to look at September 8th, which is the Tuesday after Labor Day. It's the day of the commissioners, like technically would be Labor Day. So they're gonna have to move theirs. Should we move ours back a week also because of the holiday?
Should probably help with the process for budgets like we just started
in there.
today. We'll go that
Just
week
do
or
it
even a
on
week
Labor.
after that.
Don't we usually do Wednesday after Labor Day, not Tuesday after Labor
Well,
Day?
this is just our general monthly
Your
meeting
monthly
day.
meetings.
Oh, that's our monthly meeting.
Yeah,
Or Wednesday would be fine too. I just think the Tuesday right after Labor Day. It'd be a crazy day.
most likely you will have, that date will get changed no matter what. And you'll have budgets in there. Most likely. Unless you guys want them, I mean, that's just where they've normally
And the
fallen.
commissioners meeting would fall when on that, if they were on a Tuesday?
Yeah, the 8th and the 15th, or the 8th and the 22nd.
They voted to go on Tuesdays. The first and third Tuesday, they're gonna try for a while. There's 26.
So actually, no, wait, we'd be the 1st and the 15th.
But you would meet on Labor Day
That would, no,
Labor Day falls on the 7th, right?
yes,
So you'd be the 1st and 15th.
yes,
So we could take the 22nd.
or the 8th. The day after.
I like giving the auditor's office some time to get our monthly meeting around with all their working with budgets earlier, and that is the 22nd. Okay with you guys?
Works well for me.
We can put it in there. Typically, AIC's done around that time too. Now this year it happens to fall the last week.
I think it would fall the
In
same next
September.
year. I think it would. Yeah. You're a good point, but yeah. Target the 22nd. Anybody else see anything? I care to make a motion to approve that with the limited adjustment.
I'll make a motion to approve this Benton County Council meeting schedule. Adjustment to the September meeting.
I'll second it.
Raise your right hand. Okay. Correspondence and reports, Steuben County Soil and Water, the agenda for their August 13th meeting and their Ag Appreciation Day that was 19th. That was very nice. Get out there. Great opportunity to visit those folks. So you have your EMS report packet for July. Community Corrections Financial Report for the end of July. We have email correspondence with MSD for law enforcement presence at MSD. June and July's excise, surtax, and wheel tax distribution worksheets. 4-H Fair Board, thank you letter. The Maumee River Basin meeting agenda and minutes. August EMS financial report. HR's biweekly healthcare claims. Okay. Other, we covered everything on the list?
Everything in my package.
Those will be no good. Oh, they do.
So next month will be a target opportunity for us for our final budget adoption. Included all of our second and third readings.
Yeah.
Solid waste.
Yes. Yeah, we can finalize that.
Okay. So obviously, these ordinances that we tabled today will be part of that discussion before we get to that.
Would you like me to tell you the draft 2026 legislative priorities for the ICCA that was put together that you guys will discuss down at AIC conference?
Yeah, so I appreciate listening on that. At least I were trying to listen into it while managing some things at work and catching parts of it and not. So I love it.
So the final draft list we came down to hit legislators with this next year. Obviously, top one is property tax, have another conversation, and modifications of, revenue replacement, if it's going to continue the way it is. Excise and wheels tax, they want to eliminate city and county wheel tax from stacking. There's some different ideas of how to handle that. Would it be that if a city passes it, it comes out of the county? Or could excise and wheel tax be specifically used for bridges, since counties maintain all the costs of bridges? Restoring public health funding, restoring as much as possible to the Indiana Health First. Continued support for mental health needs in communities. Many counties lack the expertise and funding to address the issues on their own. Continued state support is essential. Continuing the talk about the CMHCs and whether there's an alternative of switching. That's your community health mental health center, the one that you have to have. Again, it came back up again about the state taking over the cost of the probation department. The Indiana State Supreme Court has determined probation employees are state employees. Counties continue to fund both salaries and benefits without any input in hiring employees or salary amounts. Remove the requirement of the lit tax every year. That's a big one. That was probably what they decided was the big one, is to not have to have county council set that rate every year starting in 2028. There has been some issues in some other counties about whether elected officials are offered health insurance. The AIC and the ICCA is talking about changing that verbiage to not talk about full-time or part-time, that if health insurance is offered to an elected county official, it must be offered to all elected officials. Also, I did not realize that there's counties that don't allow their council members to go to training because it's not mandatory. So putting in that county council has some mandatory training. And they are still talking about super TIFs, super tax increment financing. The creation of super TIFs for several salaries. I don't completely understand that because we don't have one. But that is the revised list that they will talk about for those of you that will be at IC. Mm-hmm. And I have the notes because I have the luxury of being the secretary. If you would like me to forward them to you, of all the fun stuff that isn't just the draft that came out afterwards, I can forward it to you. Oh, and I missed it. Restoring of community correction funding. I apologize.
You said it. Yep. I was going to ask you a little more detail about the remove the requirement to reauthorize local option income tax.
So my understanding is how it is written, our lit rate, we will have to hold public meeting and set it every year. The fear is that if a county somehow messes up their timing and doesn't get it passed, that then it goes away all completely, and that it would leave some counties in a real lurch for funding with this transition.
All counties. Any county.
Right, and so the thought is, you know, why does it need to be set every year? If a county has it, leaving it the way it used to be, that we only go back and change it. We only have to have those meetings and, you know, the hearings and all of that if we're changing it. But if we're leaving it the same, could that piece of that puzzle be the same as it was before?
They could write language in there, like a holdover tenant language in a lease, that if you don't take action on it, that it's still what it was the year before.
Yes,
right?
it's just that there isn't any of that right now. And so the fear is that if something happened, that counties would be in trouble.
So max on the new proposed lit is what?
It's still the same. It's still the 2.5.
5, and your current lits, like our EMS lit, have to be included in that percentage, or
It will still be included, so, but it's in its own subcategory, own bucket underneath only EMS. Now, the economic one, the tax relief, you know, those other ones that we have, public safety, that's in our 1.4 that we have the ability to pass for ourselves. Then there is, I believe it's a 0.4 that can be used for EMS and fire. Then there's, I apologize, I don't have that breakdown.
no, I was trying to listen to them and they were going through that. And I would love if we could get that, like what those lits can look like and what falls under 2.5 and what's outside of that. And so we know what we're going to be working with.
I do have that. I can give that to you because we talked about it extensively last year, and then we talked about it at budget one that I attended.
Yeah, I would hope that there's a
extensively.
breakout session, and I didn't look at the agenda. I think they just sent the agenda for AIC. So do we have the full detailed thing of what breakouts we can sign up for and so forth?
I will go online and look and see if they have.
As I said, I looked on Saturday and they still didn't have the names of the breakout sessions. They were just that the workshops were there.
That's
and
what I
affiliate.
want to make sure I get to you.
Mhm.
Several, but yeah.
But I do have that I can get to you.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming they'll have it again in AIC. When we go down for that also.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine that they won't talk about it till they're blue in the face, because there was talks about it didn't make this list, but we talked about the fact that right now for fire, it is on, I have to switch to my notes, I apologize. There's something about population size that would, of that you can pass for those other. A big one that AIC that we talked about till they were blue in the face was libraries, because several members have issues with taxing the entire county, but libraries are very specific on who can be members. But if we're supporting them by all county funds, then should there be a general, a centralized library system? Because now the funding would be coming from everyone, not just that property tax base.
They've already spent their money. They got the buildings.
So, yeah, no, I mean, that is, they clarity over the mandatory distribution when it came to EMS and fire. They wanted, there's still just a lot of discussion on clarifying. Those meetings, if you can ever jump on and listen to them, you get Ryan Hoff every time in the conversation. Unfortunately, you get to hear my voice again, I'm sorry, but it's 2 hours of just talking with other council members and having.
Right, so good.
He's so good.
Okay. Representative Isa. don't mean to call you on the spot, but is there anything from any summer sessions or anything you'd like to share with us? Anything we should be thinking about?
We're doing a study on concrete. They've moved to 1L, which is a issue that we're working towards. I've got 4 bills that I've already submitted to start looking at that hopefully can impact the community positively, specifically. That's about all I can share at this point. There's a lot of conversations at the federal level and the state level that are being pushed around about maybe an early session, but let's hope not.
So I was at an event and got to talk to Mr. Smaltz, and he's, I think he thinks he has support to get back to that conversation going on again, even with a broader range of percentage of increase allowed.
One of my bills that I have submitted is to kind of try it as a local county sales tax that would be able to be implemented for a time frame. So it doesn't have to be year round. It could be during summer. So like, for example, Memorial Day to Labor Day. That could have a small tax that would help the community with its funding without taxing your locals as much.
So when it happens, the conversation previously was the tax collected at the distribution point. The language you and he are talking about now would be the tax collected by the retailer.
Yes.
Is there language in there about what's putting their tanks underground, or is it, it's an as it's pumped? Is that right?
It'll be as it's pumped.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's just, that is a huge piece for us. We can get it, be loud about it down there and have our meetings again. Keep swinging.
And since it's already public knowledge, I just say this, that the toll roading issue and concern is not for any other road but 70 at this point. It has been openly discussed. Almost 70% of all people on that pathway are from out of state. And once that toll road, if it does happen, is implemented, all those extra funds that were being used to pay for the upkeep of 70 will be dispersed to the rest of the state's roads. And the tolling itself will pay for itself. So
Hope we don't ever have that level locally, because I don't think that that's a fair process to the people to hold them on the roads that they paid to build before. Because when you commit to putting the roads in, you commit to ongoing expenses.
but as you know, 30 to 40% increase in costs doesn't always pay for everything.
So, anything else? Anything else from you, Tony? Okay. Adjourn.
Make that motion.
Okay. Let's go. Yes, for sure.
Just one, good.